name's Beth Guide. My company's name is Vertical Web. We do SEO and have been doing it now for the better part of 25 years before there was a Google. And I don't know that many people can make that claim in the world, but we've been doing SEO before there was a Google. So it used to predominantly be on Yahoo and, a few others out there that they don't even exist anymore, really. So I was thinking about what to do this time around and what we wanted to talk about. And I think that there's so much information out there that's not accurate. What I wanted to do is kind of tell you, hey, this is some of the more, if you did just this, it would start to put you in a really good position. And if you don't do this, it's not going to put you in a good position. And I think what I want to do, I'm going to have a couple of you submit me your websites. And if you're willing for me to pull them apart, I'm going to kind of utilize them to do so. So what I want to tell you out of the box is that, what I want to say out of the box, if you will, is that how you put the website together is just as important as any piece of content that you can put on it. So if you have a website and your engine is not correct, nothing else will work. Okay. So I think these become the things that beginners don't know. Sometimes web people don't know. And this becomes those things that are a problem. And I think that's kind of why I wanted to get this addressed with everybody. And tell you that there is certain things that if you do this right, you're going to be okay. So one of the first things that I always say when we do this, and I have to do it because it happens every single time I have one of these classes, is that the way you build your website matters. So there's a lot of out of the box, Wix, Squarespace, places that you can build those websites, and those websites won't rank. I'm going to say Shopify as well. I'm going to throw that one out there as well. The WordPress platform allows you to assemble a website the way Google needs you to assemble a website. And the thing is, the old story that says, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. That's the basic premise of Google. If I wanted to make it to one of the smallest, most minuscule points, that the more signals you send something, the more Google understands it. And if you don't send it signals and you don't feed it the right signals, Google has no idea what you're talking about and therefore has no idea how to rank it. I'm going to say that adding things like AI components to a website only further muddy those waters. We've talked about for the last couple of times in this class about how to use the chat API, the chat GPT and the AI, open AI software to be able to, do some of these things and to do them a little bit better. But the reality is you could do everything right over there and not have the right framework and go nowhere. So I think those are the first things. Now, I will say that Wix is trying to make their software more search engine friendly, but I don't know that it understands the premises of it. And I'll tell you, just yesterday, I talked to a very large software manufacturer for commercial real estate. And this software vendor, their entire apparatus is completely wrong. And in about 5 minutes, I've got that guy saying to me, okay, what do we have to do to rewrite that software? So these are the things that your developers may not know, your web designers may not know. It's very rare to find somebody that knows the design end of it and know the SEO end of it and how to stick those two things together. So for those of you that are just starting out and went and got like a Squarespace website, you're way to the back. So that's one of the first things that I'm going to tell you about is, that's one of the first tips is that your platform matters. So if you're building it in anything other than WordPress, that needs to be, and you're serious about moving the ball forward, that needs to be looked at. So the next thing I'm going to say when I talk about this is that I want you to there's a lot of noise out there right now about how things are and what things will do and what's happening with them. And, they'll all say, well, search is dead, and it's not dead. It's never going to be dead. Every time somebody goes to Google and does a fundamental search, it works. Now, I've done things and people say, well, anything you want to know is on TikTok. And while that's true, they used to say that about MySpace as well. At the end of the day, most people go stick something in their phone. It uses the Google backend, it pulls it out, and it gives you an answer. So you have to be able to position your business where that is. Those of you that are localized, you have a little bit of a leg up at this point, because the local businesses, there's the whole Google local apparatus, that map pack that sits in that people look for, which only helps move that ball forward. So you have some things going on there between the two that will help you, that should help you. But understand that search engine optimization is not a thing of the past. People have tried to bury it multiple times, and it's not really something that's going to have to go away. It's driving the back end of a lot of different things. The chat option that's out there is still pulling and culling out of information that's out there. So you want to appear within the first page of Google. I say Google. I've had people say, why do you say Google all the time? Because at the end of the day, that's still 80% of the referral traffic that goes to a website is still coming off Google. That is just not something that you should be ignoring or not looking at, which I'm imagining if you're sitting in this class, that's kind of why you're here. So if we can all understand that the back end of the website is the most important thing, we can move through. People have just put some websites up here for me.
They've fit quite a few up there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna see if I can run down them here, because we're gonna systematically have a lot of the same things that you're gonna need to be able to fix. Sorry about that. My phone just keeps ringing off the wall for time. Hold on one second. I apologize for this. Anyway, all right. So
why since you took different people's websites and used them to do tips
to teach from, yeah. I want to get to a couple of these, because I think the thing is that if you kind of understand what I'm saying, you're going to have a couple things go on here. So let me go here.
And remember, it's okay to put questions in the chat as well. And if Beth doesn't see them, I'll bring them up to her.
All right, so I picked the very first one that threw their stuff here on the screen, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up now.
Okay.
So this is the first one that did this. Now, I'm looking at this, and the first thing I need to do is try to figure out what you're selling, because I have no idea what you're selling. Stop feeling stressed
about dating men.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so if you had to tell me, I'm going to do it this way because you're not in front of me that I can ask questions, okay? If you had to tell me, give me some words. I got to pull the chat up here too, because I've got there. Where is it? Okay, here it is. I need you to tell me 3 words that people would use to buy this business if you were thinking, if I was going to be looking for this business. What would that be?
So you asking the group, or you asking?
No, I'm asking. Well, the group can answer, but I'm actually asking Charlene Sam, because what are we selling here? And I'm going to be really kind of point on. So if anybody wants, so you're selling a coaching service, is that right? That's kind of what I got. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. Can you find the word coaching on this website? Anybody find this word coaching on this website? Okay, so I am selling coaching services. If I do not tell Google I am selling coaching services, guess what they don't do? All right, so I'd like to know who told you to take that off, because nope. Okay, so you're not a brand name, right? You're not, actually, I don't even see your name. What is your name? Your name is All right, so, all right. So here's the thing. When Google looks at a page, they look at it and they go, what is this page about? And they try to figure out what this page is about. And when they look at this page, they have no idea what this page is about. And they don't know what the messaging is. And there's no clear message here for them to understand what you're doing. Because at first I thought maybe you're coaching people on dating, maybe. And I don't even know, ready if you I'm not even sure that what are you coaching? Life coaching? Is that what this is? Or is it dating coaching? What is it?
She says, yes, life coaching and dating coaching.
Okay. All right. So the first line leads me to believe that maybe you're a counselor. I don't know, because I'm feeling stressed and frustrated. The thing is, the message is not clear on this. Okay. So when I look at this website, I have no idea what this website is about. So therefore Google cannot get its hooks in it. So let's look at and I want to try to hit as many of these pages as I can. But if you look up here, and I don't think you can see my mouse, but if you look directly under where it says SEO articles, you see it says Charlene, Sam, Ipe, SE, Sam, and Bowers. Okay. Now, if Charlene, Sam, am I saying it's Charlene? Okay. If you were a brand, then maybe you could go with this. So if your name was Oprah, you might be able to do this. But your name isn't Oprah, and I don't know how many people. I mean, do you have like a large am I missing something somewhere that somebody that like, I mean, you don't have like 1 million Instagram followers somewhere I don't know about, right? No? Okay. All right. So the reason I'm saying this, so like for me, I have a brand name. Like people look for me, but that's after 25 years of teaching folks like you that people see my name, and I can't even go to Wild Birds Unlimited without being stopped and said, hey, you're the SEO lady. I also had somebody stop and tell me that I bring alcohol bottles to Chamber of Commerce events, and the only way they remember me is I give out the cool bottles, which means my marketing worked. But the reality of this is that it takes a while. Google, they know me because I'm all over now, but I would never go lead that on my website. I'd never start there because there's no clues of what you're doing. Okay. I would put the premier life coach for Black professional millennials who feel stressed, something along those lines. I don't know that I would go down the whole dating thing unless that's all you're doing. You seem to be saying you're doing both. All right. The other problem we're missing is there's no headline here that says what we're doing. What I see is just this exalted royalty. So for all I know, you're related to Prince Charles, who's, I think he's now the King of England or something happened. All right. My point is that you have to be clear. Okay. And I can be pretty, and this says, Queens, I want to empower you. Empower me to do what? So we have all this language here that tilts towards the brand, but we have no language that says what we do. And I will say this way is that if Google is confused, the chances are the end user's confused too, because now I get down here and I got a diamond ring. I mean, maybe you're marriage coaching. I really don't, there's no clear idea of what service you're selling, what you're doing, why I should contact you. And I think that has to be reworked, okay? Because the search engine doesn't understand it. The website doesn't I don't think the end user is going to understand it. I mean, as I'm kind of looking at this.
Well, I think if you read it all more deeply, you would get what she's doing. But I think what you're trying to bring out is that
At 8 seconds.
There needs to be a hook to have people go deeper to really get the full meaning. You got to have headlines and things that tell them right away what's happening, so they don't have to go so deep on it all. And they keep going.
This is, why should I choose you? I see a wedding ring. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm all confused what I'm looking at here. So that's one of the things. So first, when you're doing this, you need to be clear on what you're doing. And sometimes not being clear is not your friend. In fact, most times not being clear is your friend. Okay, so let me go take the next one. What I want everybody to walk away with this is say Houston, Texas life coach for professional Black women is what that should say up at the top. But so we'll start with that. So this is the next one here. Your care down there. I don't know if I want to actually touch that.
About faith-based and things like that too. So I think there's a way for people to find, oh, this is for me. So yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing here. There's no smiley, happy people. There's rocks and I mean, the imaging, everything is off, but really from a Google standpoint, I don't know. All right. I'm going to steer clear from your care down there because I think that's a landmine and I don't know. Sandra, you need to go look at that and see if that's a good site to be able to put up here. All right. Yeah, the website that the next one down says your care down there. That's scary to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go look and make sure we're not walking into a minefield on that one.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is the Motion Picture Association of America. Again, 8 seconds, right? I come up and I look at this one. This says health is wealth, and you can choose anything or nothing without it. Okay. It's not up yet. Okay, so that's all right. Okay, all right. So that's good. So it's a blank website. We have nothing. Is that right? Their care down there, people? Is that
I'm checking this out. It's not there. It's not there. Wait, your
okay. Okay, so fashion for thought. I don't know what you do either. I'm looking at this. I have no idea what this website's about. Again, it's missing key elements, okay? Collections, t-shirts, shipping. Yeah, I don't even know what this is, okay? So, and again, I don't mean to be, there's just, the problem is y'all aren't sending signals. So when I look here, I see fashion for thought as a subject, but I don't know what that is. And the way the website's set up here, I don't know if something's missing on it or what its problem is, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of something here to this one. Okay, so this one says collections. Collections of what? I'm guessing t-shirts. All right. Health is wealth. So this is, you're selling t-shirts, I'm guessing is what we're doing. All right. And then am I going to the same place? All right, I've got 2 links at the top that tell me nothing that are going to the same place. So again, this is so skinny here. You're not sending any signals to Google. They have no idea what this website's about. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. Just to show you, I want to see here something. Hold on. I got to log in. All right, let's go here. I'm trying to get logged in another window and it is not wanting to cooperate with me. So I'll just have to do it this way. If you all see my password, don't write it down. Say, let me go through. Okay, I got it. All right, so I'm going to take that website and I'm going to put it here. And this is going to tell us all about this website, what is seen on this website at this point. And I can do this on each and every one of these. This website, literally, there is nothing on the website, on the internet showing of anything about this website. And the reason why is we're missing the signals again, okay? I'm going to say that's probably a pretty new one. All right, let's see what the next one is. I'm trying to go in order here. Okay. And the thing is, when I come up on them and I have no idea what this is. All right. Now, I want everybody to notice, everybody's made the same mistake. Everybody's put the name of their business up here at the front, at the very tippy top of it, and not what this is about. Now, I have no idea what this one's about either. I'm gonna mention this to you too, guys. Try to use fonts that people can read. I know it kind of maybe looks a little cool to do this, but that's a little bit difficult to read. So people are just going to kind of shy away just based on that all by itself. Okay, so there is something under the editorials page. I'm not sure what this is. Okay. Can anybody tell me what this website's about? Because I'm like not sure. There's nothing on this website that
it's about fashion. It looks like it's about fashion.
Yeah, but there's not one word on it, is there?
Well,
all right. I am a fashion designer. Read the bio. Okay. All right. So nowhere on here does it say fashion designer, clothes designer. It doesn't say what I'm looking at. And when you said read the bio, I saw first and foremost, I'm a girl from Texas with a dream that are bigger than Texas. I have been designing what? It doesn't say. I've been designing what that's missing there for around 10 years. And I have found that at times you can get lost in a big world of fashion and lose sight of who you are. So it doesn't say your name - fashion designer, clothing designer, #1 Houston dress designer. It doesn't have any of that. So there's not a clear path there for what it's trying to say. There's nothing. And literally you have this many words on this entire website. So there's nothing there for Google to get its hooks in. You have a refund and a refund policy and a shipping policy, but I don't see anything I can buy on this website. Okay, so as a result, I have a whole website that Google doesn't know what it's about. And what I've been doing, what I'm gonna do on each and every one of you guys, I'm gonna go put this in, and we're gonna see if Beth is right or wrong on what it is, because this tells us what Google knows about a website. All right, so let's go back to that. Now that I'm logged in, we'll throw that one up at the top here. And this one, it's got 4 words it knows about. All right, so this one, your 4 words, and they're not even showing.
Well, she says, I just closed my store. I'm in school finishing my fashion degree. Thanks for the tip. So she's learning from you, but that's why there's nothing for sale on it right now. So it's kind of a
okay. All right, and that's fine. But the problem is Google, again, it's another blank canvas website that they don't know what it's about.
Yeah. So
okay. And that becomes, I really want one that there's enough there that the signals are all wrong.
Well, I think they love your tips and their understanding about keywords and that kind of thing. So
right, let's take this.
Why don't we try another one?
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going down them. Surely we've got to have one here that's got some attributes to it.
Well,
all right, wait, we may have a winner. Ding, ding, ding. We may have one that we can actually talk about. All right, now this one's got
guys, I'm glad. I appreciate your being brave and putting your websites in here because it's a great way to learn.
All right, so this lady's nice name is Margarita. Okay, so this says welcome to Skinny Wellness, and I'm thinking that this is about skin and not skin and weight management. Okay, so you've got both of them here. You've got it that way. Okay, now what's interesting is I'm assuming you're in Houston. Okay, the word Houston's missing. So what I'm looking at here is you led with the word home. Okay, I would take your title tag here if it was me, and I would make the title tags that says skin and weight management, Houston, Texas, from Skinny Wellness. Because at the end of the day, the least important part of this process is who you are. Okay. But your skin and wellness management. The other thing I would do on your logo is cut the skin and weight loss management, weight management out of the logo and write it in typewriter. Okay, because they can't read this. And the reason I know it's all in one piece is because when I did it, it all moves. See, it's all moving. All right. So I would edit this and take that little piece of that tagline and actually make that in there in text. Okay. So it says, welcome to Skinny Wellness. And it should say, your home for skin and weight loss management in Houston, Texas. And it needs to be in an H1 tag, because the welcome to is not the important thing. And even the Skinny Wellness is not the important thing. It's the skincare and weight management. That's the important thing. Okay.
Because now, that's what Google recognizes.
That's what Google recognizes. So we've got a messy little title tag. That's, if you just change that around a little bit, it would help. I've got a logo that I could actually,
It's skincare and weight management in Houston, Texas. That's what should be up there?
Yeah, that's, I would flip that around, and then I would put from Skinny Wellness at the end of it. Okay.
H1 tag.
I see. So there is headline tags in an editor, and they're H1, H6. Google looks for the H1 because they want you to be screaming at them what the website's about. Once you put the H1, you're only going to have one H1. And then from there, you can go 2, 3, 4 and go down. But in your editor, when you type, you'll see that has a paragraph in H1 and H2 and so on down the pike. Okay.
So H1 is like headline number 1, the biggest.
Headline number 1, and you can only have one. Okay. So I would put that one right in this spot right here, but I wouldn't do it of welcome to Skinny Wellness. I would do it as the welcome to would be smaller. And then I would put, you know, Houston, Texas, premier skin and weight management. I don't know, what are you? A spa, a clinic, whatever you want to be called. And then I'd put your name, because to them, the more important thing is that you do skin and weight loss, not what your name is. All right. So I start to look in here. Well, that's why, well, okay, so that's a good question. You have to decide where you cater more to and what you want to do. I mean, if you're saying I want to cater to Houston and Milan because you're a fashion designer, that's one thing. If you're saying you want to do Houston and the Woodlands, that's a different thing. So how did you mean that question? And where it says if you want to cater to more than Houston. And for you, I can see you sped out. For her, it's probably around it. So yeah, and I think it depends on where you are in Houston. So what I'm looking at on this is I like for me, I'm in West Houston. So all the stuff that I do, I talk about being in West Houston. If somebody wants to come, I have customers as far away as, you know, Bangladesh. So I don't know that I would go and say, hey, we're advertising in Bangladesh. I mean, I don't do that, but we do have them. On the other side of the coin is I do Houston, I do West Houston, I do Kingwood, and I do everything from I-10 to pretty much 59, 69, whatever they want to call it this week. So, all right. So see, you're in the energy quarter, you're in Hedwig Village. I don't think somebody from Kingwood is probably going to drive the 45 minutes to come to your shop, you know, at this point. So you need to be writing things about that area. So let me show you something. Let me pop over here a second. I want to show you how to handle this. All right, so this is an apartment complex on Westview Drive. And what I want you to notice is, and I'm kind of showing you this one because this kind of is around where you are. And if you borrow some of this, you'll be okay. So first of all, affordable West Houston. You know how I told you Houston, you may just want to say West Houston because that's really the real place. It's not really Houston. I would go West Houston based on what you're saying there. Okay. Then I have welcome to your Houston apartment because of course it's an apartment complex. And if you notice, I have text here about Houston apartment complex. If it's kind of there, Houston's here, Houston's here. And if you look, many of our residents, and this is like a tip to you. If you look at this paragraph was constructed for Google. Many of our residents work in the Bunker Hill Memorial City area. Okay, it makes the location of Westview a perfect place. It includes Houston City Center, the Memorial City Mall, Herman Hospital. The reason I did that is to send a signal to Google where we are located. So Google will see, it's sophisticated enough now to see, okay, so this place is talking about Bunker Hill, Memorial City, Houston City Center, Memorial City Mall, and the Memorial Herman Hospital, okay? So it has all of that here. And then I wanted to go for the person that said, how do I go out wider? So if you notice, I went out wider in this here. Okay, our neighborhood is in Spring Branch. We have this Cornerstone Academy, Houston Community College, and then I go, and you can get to the Galleria. So I put language in here to signal to Google where I am. For you, I would do the same with your spa. Okay, I don't know what's the right word for what you have, so I apologize if it's not a spa. Okay, and then if you come down here, because we are in Spring Branch and we want to be in Spring Branch, you notice I have a whole big paragraph here talking about Spring Branch and where we are and what we're doing, because again, this paragraph is a signal to Google about where we are. So it helps Google to understand that this apartment complex is sitting in Spring Branch, that it's sitting on West Park Drive, that it services 77043, so on and so forth. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you is these pictures, I took them myself, and they are all got in those photos. The metadata says where those pictures were taken. So again, I'm sending a signal to Google based on photography, based on language, based on headlines, based on title tags, based on, so I am, cohesively sending a message to Google that, hey, this is where we are. This is what we're doing. This is how we got here. This is the history of, and I'm mentioning landmarks. Now, if I said the Statue of Liberty in the middle of this, Google would be like, if you're scratching old vinyl record, they'd be like, what did you just say? So you want to make sure you notice here, instead of saying Wirt Road and Blaylock Road and Campbell Road, we actually said, these are the names of Houstonians. So we put the road names in there, but basically talked about them as the people that are surrounding them. This is the thought process that has to go into all of this. If this kind of makes some sense to you, I'm hoping that it's making some sense to some of you, because you all got quiet there for a minute. All right. So if you look at this, and I was going to try to put this together, this is how I did it. And I'm sending, remember, I told you this is all about sending signals. If you look at my title tag says affordable apartments, Houston, Memorial, Spring Branch, and a bunch of zip codes. And then the other thing that this thing does is this apartment complex allows all breeds of dogs. So we actually, that's one of its selling points. So we actually went pet friendly, safe apartments, because that was something that's important to this apartment complex owner. But I really made a hardcore press to go out and around. And what's interesting about this, just to tell you the psychology of this apartment owner wants to rank on the other side of I-10, on the Memorial side of I-10. So in order to do that, I had to acknowledge where we were, but picked elements from that side. And we have a really fairly large circle now on that I-10 corridor there that goes from, pretty much the loop all the way to the Beltway. So that footprint's continuing to grow outward, but it's because of the languaging that we put on this website to help afford to accomplish that. All right. That's the kind of stuff. So as I look at these websites and I assess them, you see how many words are on this page? And then I look at those other ones and you see how few words are on those other pages. So I am putting together a case for Google that lets them know Oh, I see that. I'm using a site called SEMrush, or they're saying it now SEMrush. They've kind of trying to rebrand themselves to say SEMrush instead of SEMrush. It's a website. So if I do Westview, let's see what this one looks like. I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks. FORESTAPARTMENTS.com. Did I spell this right? I didn't spell it right, huh? Let me just cut and paste. I'm going to cut and paste. I'm cheating because I can't spell right tonight. Somebody asked me earlier if I wanted a drink. I might need one because I can't spell. Anyway, all right, let's see. Let's try again. Let's go back over here. Oh, I know why it's not working right. Here we go. Let's go here. Let's go paste here. And let's go search and let's see what we come up with. Okay, you can see that the line on this has gone steadily up since we've been putting those words on this website. So you would like to be here with this kind of an elevation and a climb. Now, granted, remember, this is a website that's, only servicing a very small area. The other thing is if I go on the keyword list, that's kind of gone up. This thing is ranking on now like 500 and some odd keywords. So that's, although I guess, oh, you know why? Because I don't have it on the United States because I'm not really being a smart person tonight. But you can see he's kind of gone up. His keywords have gone up. Things are going on. For some reason, this showed up here this way. I don't really know why. But it's coming back and it's making its way back up. So at the end of the day, that's what your goal should be, is to try to get this kind of a ranking to do all of that. This says, what do you think about it? Huh? What, Sandra?
You're reading it. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. It says, what do I think about AI to help with all that wording? I don't, because AI can't think that way. Okay. So what I might have done is gone to ChatGPT and say, write me 500 words about Spring Branch. But then I have to go through it. I have to read it. And then I have to say, okay, what is missing? What is not missing? What maybe do I need to add to this that is not here? What do I not need to add to this that maybe is not here now? Those are the kind of things that we need to look at. So I don't want to advocate in a classroom environment for anybody to go be using AI to go do this stuff, because the penalty attached to AI if you get caught is far greater. And you guys don't, you're like little babies. So it's kind of like saying, hey, what is it like if I go give a baby a fire hose and send them into a burning building? How would that go? They could walk, they might know to spray some water at the fire, but they don't know how to adequately navigate that.
Can you tell them more about why they would get in trouble if it's figured out that
Google's looking for it? They're seek and destroy on AI content. They do not want it. And here's the reason why. Okay, so at the end of the day, if all I'm going to do is take somebody else's idea and put it on my webpage, what value have I added to the internet? None. And we've talked about this before, and I guess now's as good a time to talk about it as any. But on my website, I did this on purpose. And honestly, I don't even know how it ranks. So I haven't really gone back to look at it. It's been a little. All right, so I wrote this article with AI. And it's 4,000 words, just FYI. Let me grab this here. All right, so I wrote this page about, I guess I did it back in March. And right now, this page is ranking on 20 separate keywords, with the biggest being what is the definition of an algorithmic penalty. What I want to rank on is penalty recovery. That's actually what I want to rank on. Okay. The page is the ultimate guide from a Google algorithm update and penalties. I could probably fix that title tag a little bit to be a little bit more in line. But let me tell you what I had to do. So I wrote this thing. I used ChatGPT to give me the bare basics of it. And then I had to go in and actually fix it with my knowledge. Okay. By the time I got to the very bottom of this thing, this last paragraph I wrote without any AI assistance at all, because what I'm looking at and what I'm doing with this thing is I needed to add enough information in there that made it mine and use my expertise and my brain to get around it. There is no cookie cutter amount that I can say replace 20% of this and all your life will be okay. All right. So I'm glad this page is doing okay. But if you notice, I went after a very high and competitive topic and I didn't get super great. Now, I guess if I did a little bit more on this, these are high. These are high things. Yeah, it's just interesting to me because this needs a little bit more, or maybe this page, I need supporting pages for this is what I think I need, because it landed smack in the 50s. So it's not bad, but I think the AI parts of this now are less than 50%. So I had to rewrite so much of it that, I just don't want to turn you guys to have you go and do that, because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is you're going to end up not knowing what to change and how to change it and how to make it all work right. And you're going to get yourself banned. So I don't want to see you getting a page knocked out. And the other thing is, I have one of these pages on a 2,000 page website. If you have one of these pages on a 10-page website, that's a big problem. So I'm not an advocate of doing this, more so because now that's a different question. So what I'm going to say to that, it says, what about the item descriptions for sale? If you don't want them to rank and you want the ChatGPT to write sales copy for you, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But what I will say to you is this, and I'm going to submit this. Remember, I told you if you built a website right and you did it right, it would rank well. Hang on a minute. This one here is a good example. And actually, this one, this one's probably a good example of this. Lighting products, lights. Okay, so this website ranks pretty well across the board, okay? If you start to look into this and come into this, it was hit in two directions, okay? And I don't know what I'm going to get, because it's going to be, you see that there's some description here, there's additional information, that it's kind of thin. So this one, I'm sure, is this particular poll is not ranking. But if you go in and you want to write a verbose thing because you want the page to rank, then I wouldn't do it with AI content. See, to just slap something like this here, it's fine, because those only count as 1/8 of a page. But again, if this thing has supporting articles and supporting pages around it, because ideally what I want to rank on parking lot lights is this. So I want this to be the ranking page, and I'm going to proof source that out and see if that actually is the case. There we go. Okay, so hang on. So yeah, see, this page alone is ranked on this page, this one page, not the whole website, one page is ranked on 316 terms. So as with that saying, I have 10 of them in the top 10 because this is the content page. And then this is the one that takes you into the parking lot polls. Okay. So this is where I'm kind of saying, if you wanted to do it for that, I would be okay with it. But again, you really have got to understand what's under the hood before you start messing with something. You know, it's like the pyrotechnics guy. If I tried to put up a fireworks display, I'd probably burn down Kingwood. It's the same concept. Okay. All right. It says, how do you make a specific page rank, or does Google check each page and ranks them? No, that's a class all in itself. That right there is a class all to itself. I will answer that in a second. I want to just make sure I have everybody else's up here. I see you on the storm one, guys. Storm UX. I'll get to that one in a minute. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody in order. There's a lot of people between you and me.
I think the next one was Home Design Studio. Maria Lovato.
You know, I'm interested to go look at that one, although I don't like the studio URL. Just can I tell you all, stick with Common Net, please, and don't be going buying weird stuff. Anyway, all right. So let me go to and answer a question. All right. So Marie. I can't believe. All right. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So the ranking exists just a specific page, and that is how we look at it. So when we do these classes in person, I actually have an exercise and have you outline your websites. And take a really big poster board, and I want you all to make an outline of your website. And the reason why is because that outline drives what page ranks. So let me use the Vertical Web website for a second. By no means is this completely correct at this point, because I need to put hours into it more than what I have. Customers are always comes first. So my website sometimes like the shoemaker's kid. All right, if I look at this, I have my outline is SEO, web design, and then web hosting. If you come under the SEO, I've got 4 subpages that point to this main SEO page. Okay. If you look under web design, I have 2. All right, but I'm going to use the web design tree because I want to show you something. I want this page here to be the ranking page. Okay. So this is the page that I want Google to say is the right page on the website. If I was going to rank on web design, I would do that. So if you notice, my slug is web design Houston because that's my search term. And if you look at my title tag, it says Houston web design, best web designers, Houston web development. I think it says web development Houston too. Okay. So I have a title tag that says what I do. Okay. And then I come down, I have my H1 with web design, and I might want to stick the word Houston high impact web design or high impact web design for Houston. I may come back and alter this in a minute at some point. And then I have, local Houston web design development company. I've done everything basically right down this whole page. All right. When I get to the bottom, this is one of those tips again. You'll notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the main page. I have 5 pages that are siloed together that talk about web design and web development. Okay. Now I am in Kingwood tonight, so I do not know the answer that I will get, but let's go web development Houston. If I do web development Houston, sponsor, I wouldn't be here because I am in Kingwood, so it doesn't know where I am. I think I'm number 4. I'm number 5 today. So if you look, I'm number 5 now on web development Houston. I'm number 5 behind a directory, another directory, a huge national chain, and then there's another directory, and then there's little old me. So I'm pretty much the lead, web development out of the ones and it usually floats between 1 to 5. It's because how these pages are struck together. Now, if I wanted to go, and make sure that web development, I may need to go put up another web development page, which I probably will to push that up a little bit farther. All right. So that's one of the ways that I would do that is I've strung those pages together. If I go to web design, I don't think I do. I think I'm on the second page on that one. Let me go stick that in here. I think I'm on the second page on that. It floats around so much. You can kind of see how this particular situation, you see it kind of goes and floats around so much. This page is ranked on 113 separate keywords. So I have one page. So think about the Google bid process, right? So if I was going to buy advertising for a page, right? The fact that I have 113 separate keywords ranking on that one page, I did a really good job on that page. Because at the end of the day, it serves 113 different masters. So if you do the things I'm telling you to do and you do them correctly, you start to be able to push that page up. Those 5 little feeder band pages that I showed you that are under this main web design page, push this one main web page up. Okay. And that's what it's doing. So as a result, you'll see, and you see everything's kind of like on the second page, which that doesn't make me happy. But on the other side of the coin, another 1 or 2 web design pages, and I think that starts to push that up to the first page. So as you ask me how to do it, it's an accumulated effect of having proper pages linked together, the proper words up here. So I have web design. I have web design all throughout this. And I actually think I need to stick the word Houston up there. I really do. And I think it would move it up as I'm looking at it. The other thing is, this sounds like a ticky-tack thing, but we're talking about web design Houston and Houston web design. I'm inconsistent with what I did. So I have Houston web design. I don't have the Houston here, but I have it in the title tag as Houston web design. So if I want to do web design Houston, I probably need to flip that title tag around to be web design Houston. And I actually am probably going to do that as well. So when you start to say, how do you get a page? It's accumulated effect of what's on the page, the signals I send, how many pages I have linked together properly, and how hard am I working to push that up to the top. And I would submit that almost every page on my website has at least as multiple keywords on a page. So even though I what am I trying to say? Even though I'm going for one, which is Houston web design, I have multiples here. If you go to this website, you can sign up for the mailing list and you'll get a notification when the video is up. So just as an FYI point. So if you want to go to the class page, you can actually, it'll actually have a place for you to put your email address in and get on the list to get notifications. Okay, so when I start to do this and I start to put these things together, this is how I put them together so that they stick and they get sticky in Google and they get up there. So somebody asked me if these are pages that I've created. I personally wrote every one of these pages. Just so you know, I mean, I literally sat down. This page took me 8.5 hours to do, to be able to write it, optimize it, put it together, make it and tweak it the way I wanted to do. It was almost 8 hours on this page alone. So I in fact, frankly, like I said, I'm coming back now and I'm kind of looking at it and I think I want to kind of make some changes to it. So, and just because it's in the teens, I actually would like to get it to the first page. So I'm going to probably come back and re-optimize this again and make some adjustments to it because it's a strong page. There's no two ways about it. that it's a strong page. It's got 113 separate keywords it's ranking on, and mostly every site, every page I have. So why I'm stressing the amount of keywords that it's ranking on, just so I can say this, I want everybody to understand something. Any way that you look at a word is unique to you. So on keyword searches, probably Google estimates that 50% of all searches that are done are never repeated, because what they are is unique to that end user. Somebody in this room may say, website design in Houston, Texas on I-10 by Echo Lane. Well, when that search is that specific, it's going to point it all the way into my driveway. That makes sense to you. Okay. Whereas opposed to, just web design Houston, well, you're going to get a more, if I do it here, again, I'm in Kingwood right now. So all right, if I do web design Houston, I'm getting weird. Somehow it's got me by Toyota Center. It's decided this is where I should be. And if you go down the list, I know I'm not on this first page. I will say that. I know that for a fact. Yeah, and then they go into all these. Yeah, and then here we are. So we're on the second page like I thought we were. We're like at 16. So I actually think I'm going to tweak that. So we'll see. You guys can come back and see if that goes up or down, because I think I am going to tweak that page. But what I will say is this: the page that I want ranking is the page that ranks. Okay. And the important comment there on this is that if the user's intent is a web design page, I want them on the web design page. If the user's intent is SEO, I want them on the SEO page. All right. So you just are going to kind of have to work through that and know that, because at the end of the day, if you don't do that and you send everybody to your homepage, the chances are they're going to get lost and not actually be able to get what you want out of it. So you always want to try to match the intent. All right. So this
question is, did you see Nikki's question is uni? Good for building a website. Also thinking of getting domain and email from GoDaddy. Any advice on using both? I am a new startup business, no revenue yet, on strict budget.
I would go get WordPress, which is free, and I don't know that I would give GoDaddy the time of day for anything. So I've never heard of EUNI at all. So my answer is you need to build your website in WordPress.org, and your web host should provide that to you free of charge. We're a web hosting company. We have these plans for as low as like $9. So, and it comes with the domain name. So if cost is an issue, I don't know if GoDaddy gives you a fully loaded version of WordPress for $9. I mean, we're giving you the license, the editors, everything comes with it. So I might shop that out a little bit, but no, I've never heard of ENUI. And I'm going to tell you that if you're serious about Google and you want to get involved with Google, you need to be in a WordPress shell. That's really not negotiable. And it's not because I have any vested interest in WordPress. I mean, I don't want anybody to mistake that. It's just that Google understands it. Google sees it. I can put it together the way Google needs it. It's not on a platform. It's not running slow. None of it's doing any of it. So that would be my answer to that one. Let's see. What would you suggest someone to write about fashion to link them all together? Okay, so this is the question. In men's and women's fashion, I don't know what kind of fashion you do, but I mean, if you do men's and women's, that's how I would break that. I would start there, or men's,
women's fashion on her. She's the one that's gonna finish school and reopen her website.
Yeah. All right. So women's fashion, you have tops. I mean, your stuff looks pretty colorful. So, I mean, I would have to figure out what that, I'm not, okay. I wear jeans and a black shirt or a white shirt and black jeans and or blue jeans every day. I am not a fashion expert at all. I'm a nerd person, so when you get down to this, it's a hard question. But if you do women's fashion, I might say dresses, pants, slacks. I don't know, but I would start to break those into groups. I mean, and if there's special fashion you do, I mean, if you're fashion forward, I mean, that would be a group of fashion. I don't, like I said, your stuff looks very colorful to me. So, I mean, I don't know how to answer that without having a very large and long conversation with you, but I mean, you're going to have to come up and figure out what those, I mean, is it evening attire? I mean, what are we designing? And that would be that would start to be some of the questions. Okay, so that's a good question. It says, if you purchase a domain at GoDaddy, how do I go over to WordPress? That's pretty easy. I mean, you could go to GoDaddy, but again, I don't think they give you a fully loaded version of WordPress. The ones that we have are fully loaded. So if you had a domain, we can easily make those changes. If you go to Bluehost, when you're shopping for WordPress, make sure that they're giving you the licenses, that you're not having to go out there and buy a whole bunch of extra stuff with your hosting plan. You know, some companies do and some companies don't. So know what you're getting there. But at the end of the day, I mean, you can go anywhere. And then you don't have to go over to WordPress. You're not going to WordPress.com. You are literally using WordPress.org that is baked in. It is its own standalone entity that can go on any hosted website anywhere in the United States of America. So just because you have it in one place doesn't work. You know, you don't have to stay where you are. That's kind of a fallacy. So that's easy. Somebody says, how do I work with you? You can just go to Vertical Web and call me. My phone number is at the top of the website. Or you can send me an email, or you can sign up. I mean, there's like a bazillion different ways. So just, if you just want to reach out and give us a call, that's not a problem. All right. So let's see. So different keywords to each page specified to the category it's talking about. Yes, that's kind of it. And if you put a hierarchy in place and you support it, what's going to happen is the top page is going to start to, if you go back to that web design page, if you look down it and come down here, you notice that I have it supported throughout even more, right? I have several different types of things that would apply to web design that would be involved in it, so that we can interlink those as well. And if you notice, some of them are, so like off this page, the web development goes to a web development page. So all of these things are interconnected. And then if you go to the web development page, it talks about applications, e-commerce, management, database. So again, I'm sending signals. Eventually, my long range plan is write a page about e-commerce, write a page about database, write a page about code maintenance. You know, every one of these things that you see is going to end up with eventually linking to something else, you know, back-end development, full stack developer. What are these things? Where are they? What is a CMS? You know, as you come down, I have multiple opportunities baked in each one. And if you notice, the one that is the main category page has all the foundations laid to all the other pages. So if you come back over here to the SEO page, let's do the SEO one, because this one works a little bit more. If you come down, you notice, if you look at the menu, just visually, you got SEO services, local SEO, social media, and content marketing. Okay. If you come down here, you'll see local SEO, and that's actually already hooked up to a local SEO services page. All right. So every time I have a topics page that lives in this navigation, it literally is the home page for that section of the website for it to shift on down and let everything flow down. And because I'm telling you how I link them up at the bottom, it allows it to flow back to the top of the page. Okay. So you see all of these posts point back to this page. And then I have this one here. That's the vertical web services page, which goes back to the home page. So all this stuff is interconnected together to make it work properly. Okay. All right. Okay. For someone that just needs a basic website active, could you simplify what I need to do? Which I'm assuming I'm writing words for you at the end. All right. So you need a website, you need a domain, you need a host, you need WordPress. And then you probably need to hang out with us for about 6 months and you'll figure it out. One thing that I probably despise more than anything is when somebody builds a website and that website is not what am I trying to say? How do I want to say it? It's not put together right. And because it's not put together right, it's going to need to be redone. So you're better off to try to put as much in play correctly on the front side so you don't get stuck in a loop on the back side. So that's that story. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, come back over here. Oh, the person that I said I put 77047. The reason why is because that's part of the Texas Medical Center. That was why we went and actually included that zip code. All right, I'm going to grab, because I'm now jumping around and I'm losing places. Let me go and grab this UX guy's website. And let's see what we're looking at here. All right. All right, so this right here, I'm not checking it from a code side, but this website design agency is local. So I would make sure I had some kind of local hook on that piece if it was me, right out of the box. All right, because I've got nothing local there. We're a branding agency, but you just said you're a website design agency. So you're inconsistent there. Are you a branding agency or a web design agency? Because you just told me you're a web design agency, and okay, but you see how this isn't. You said you're not saying that. Okay, so you need to kind of put both of those kind of there in a better proximity, because you're leading with an interesting problem here by saying we're a branding agency that talks about brands. Although you said web design here, you don't say anything about web design here. In fact, you have it way over here. You have it here, but it's like way over to the side. I would bring that back up over here. All right. Again, now this again says nothing. So looks pretty says nothing. Google has no idea what build plus create equals brand. No idea what that means. So that becomes a piece of a problem. Yeah, see, this page is centered on branding. It's not really design is only secondary on it. And here's, by the way, you got a broken link here. Yeah, see, you're more into brands. And then I've got this. Yeah, you're more focused on branding. So, all right. So you know what's interesting? So when I have a similar problem you do in this regard. I do two things, right? I do three things. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever were here before, this was in a different order. And I got so far in the weeds of trying to be 1, 2, 3 and do everything. What ended up happening was Google got confused, the customer got confused. If you're branding, stay on the branding line and just have web design be secondary. I ended up taking the web hosting and knocking it to third instead of it, because in a process, web hosting would be first, design would be second, SEO would be third. What was happening is Google was confused and was not ranking the SEO parts as well as I wanted them to. The customer was confused and thought we were just a web design company. No, it absolutely does not make more sense to have a new web page for web design. Absolutely not. In fact, I just worked to put all these websites that I had together. They just has to be weighted properly. So to me, my SEO is first. So we went through the top here. Okay. So I weighted it differently. And then I went with the brand at first, which was web design or web hosting, web design, digital marketing, www, the whole package, right? Except Google didn't understand it. So I ended up flipping it, forget about the brand kind of stuff. And I wanted the SEO value. So now you notice it says SEO and digital marketing, web design, and web hosting. They got flipped because the emphasis was going in the wrong place with it in a different order. So this is why I'm saying to you, you're a branding company, be a branding company. If you want to offer, you got trade, what do you do with trade booths and design exhibits? If that's what you're doing, there's no definition. By the way, you need to fix all these broken links because I'm wondering why you have broken links. All right. Packaging.
They're calling you out on skipping the line. The next one that we were going to do was way up there, like at 611 Memorial.
No, I can't get through them, Sandra. I'm just trying to get some of them is what I'm trying to do. I mean, I can go to another one. I mean, some of these are, I'm trying to do.
I understand. You just want to spend a certain amount of time on each one.
Yeah, I am. I mean, but this one's all screwy. I mean, I kind of was hoping this one would be all screwy, to be honest with you, because I can actually learn from this. A blank website I can't learn from. I mean, other than to say it's a blank website. This one's all mixed up. So like this one, he's dedicating to nurturing and supporting the growth. So he's a parent because he's dedicated to either that or he's a farmer. I understand what he's doing, but all of the messaging on this is completely off from a Google standpoint. From an end user standpoint, it's okay. But from a Google standpoint, it's all kind of goofed up. Yes, I can throw it in SEMrush for you. And then we'll go to the next one because I don't want anybody to. And frankly, if anybody wants to just write me in their URL, I'm happy to just send you back and say, hey, this is what's going on. I have no problem doing that. Yeah, all right. So whatever you did, you have completely done something because you broke your whole website back in November. So you have a huge problem because your website is DOA as of November. It wasn't really too good before November, but it's bad now because there's nothing there. And let me go to 6-month line. Yeah, so you did something, something happened. So you had some showing up and then you did something back in December and you're completely knocked out again. So you got lots of problems because Google can't get a hook in on it. I'm going to pretty much say that's what your problem is this thing is not optimized. It's just kind of a pile of mashed potatoes. It looks good, but it's still a proper pile of mashed potatoes. All right, let's see. By the way, so far Skinny Wellness is in the lead, just in case anybody's keeping score.
Well, I think the next one was the one that had the dot, not dot.
Yeah, okay. So just Maria, do you want me to tell him or what? Do you want me to let him know? Because yeah, you need to fix stuff. I would think you'd know this by now. All right. Big problem. Welcome. Ready to see your new home in a brand new way. Maria's a realtor. No, she's a interior designer. Okay. So the problem is we're not here. It's the line sounds pithy and awesome, but it doesn't tell Google what you do. Here, at least we have home first. Home needs to go away. Certified home stager and designer in Conroe, Texas. Good. That's awesome. Glad we did that. But the home piece the home sticking in the front of it is not really a good thing to do because home in that implication means the home page of the website. Okay. The other thing we are on a mission. We've not said anything about designing houses, certified home staging. We're not talking anything about that. We're now talking about our mission. So this one, I'm actually surprised. We need to get some fixes on this one because this one should have a little bit more than what it does. Because she's been hanging out with us for a while.
Well, it's always good to check back in with you, right?
Huh?
It's always good to check back in, and because you keep doing
Yeah,
things to your
she's been
website.
hanging out with me enough though that some of this shouldn't be this way. Just as an FYI point. Let me throw that in here. It always validates me. Yep, we're ranking on one whole word. And again, another, yep, nothing. We had this little blip here in February of 43 words, and now all of a sudden it's completely gone again. You know, when you see that, that means you actually had the winning solution at some point and then you kind of lost it. All right, let's see what the next one is. And I say next victim, maybe.
It would be Diana Mitchell is the next one,
That one? No.
I think, but it could end at just.com. GSCokitchen.com.
Are you keeping track of this somewhere?
Well, I'm looking in the chat right now. It was at 6:13 p.m. Diana Mitchell. GSCokitchen.com. What she said.
I see it. It's a URL we posted here. By the way, if that's your actual URL, you have a problem because we need to get that gobbledygook off the end of it.
Yeah.
Let's
You
see.
could try it without the gobbledygook at the end and see if it comes up.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
There you go.
Yeah,
Kitchen. There we go. See, I got you your turn, Diana.
except we have no keywords on this. There's nothing. It just says Gaia's Eco Kitchen. And what I do know is I can buy with Prime, but I have no idea what I can buy. And I see I can buy with Prime over here, but I still have no idea what I can buy. Anybody know what's for sale yet? Reusable food beeswax wraps. So you're selling these things that go over the top of the bowls. And then I have a really big gap here for some reason. All right, so when that came in, it loaded more stuff. Hold on a minute. So you're selling food storage is what I think you're selling. But it doesn't say it anywhere until I get here in little tiny print. This is no good. This one. All right. What is a beeswax wrap? Because it's another problem. See, where I'm having trouble is I can't get between the two of them. Yeah, this website has no keywords on it. Again, it's another example. It's all that's what the problem is. None of these have keywords on them. None of them are set up to tell Google what they do. And if you don't tell Google what you're doing, now you got 60 keywords. All right, you've got 60 keywords. We've got one ranking, and then let's see what we've got. Airtight. Let's see. Guy's Kitchen. Because it picked up the product pages. Oh, no, it's picking up images. So the stuff that's ranking for you are mostly images. You see that? These are, if I go here, it's an image. Okay. Yeah, it's ranking on Google image search. It's not actually yeah, that's not necessary. Now, if you sell floor plans, that's a good thing. But if you sell a silicone food storage, and it should be food storage is what we should be talking about, really. What I will say, one thing we got pulled in here is you pulled your Amazon reviews in. So this page is a little bit beefier just because of it. They're actually helping. But yeah, it's the images that are ranking is what I'm guessing is ranking. I know it's ranking on keywords. Yep. All right, yeah, that one needs a whole lot of keyword work, and it needs a whole lot of language help. And I'm going to also tell you, it needs really bad image help, because I don't know if it's showing this way at home, but I have these ginormous food bags on my monitor, and I'm not really sure why I have them, but makes it a little bit. It's kind of goofy on this. No offense. And again, I don't mean to offend anybody. I hope, again, I did this once and I made the guy mad, and he came and called me the next day and yelled at me and said, why did I say that? I'm not saying it for anything more than to try to help everybody. All right. What's the next one, Sandra? You have any ideas? Would you say 613?
Hold on just a second. I think the next one is klpconstructionsupply.com.
Yes. All right. Cooper, be quiet, dude. I have sound deadening. You shouldn't hear his big little mouth running. Okay, let's see. Okay. Well.
So that's Ben.
Huh?
That's Ben Wainwright. He's still here.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, all right. So this one's trying real hard, but it's still missing the mark. Because I think these, I don't know if these are readable. So even though that they're there, and then they're not really linked to anything. So I have these words here, but there's nothing, there's no substance behind them to back them up. So the premise, like this looks like a site that somebody that knew just enough to do a little bit right, but not enough to do it actually right. All right, so let's see what his title tag is.
So those aren't H1s or H2s because they're
they're an element with inside the see. I can't do anything with them, and it's like they're part of the. I don't think they're part of the picture. I think there's something typed on the top of the picture. I'd have to see because they're growing as I move over. Oh, some of them are, not all of them. But this is not late. It's kind of. It's wrong, but it's somebody tried to do something right, but didn't know enough to do it all right. So the thing is,
well, if you click on it, does it lead to someplace else where that same word is doing the right thing? The same phrase?
No, nothing. It does nothing. So again, it's not really putting it together right. It's like I said, it's like really kind of weirdly. Somebody tried to do something, but it's not executed right. Okay. So let's look at this. Okay. So first of all, we have KLP Commercial Construction Supply. And now this says your industrial and construction supply house. Okay. So at least we're trying to match something somewhere. Like I said, except the next thing we say is we're family owned and operated. Okay, no offense. I think family is like the important part of anything, but that's the last thing you tell somebody on this page. Look at this. This is the way it should be done. Look at its homepage. Like there, commercial landscape lighting. This goes here. This goes to an article page. When you construct that website like this, the website will rank. Okay, this website, I purposely obscured and made them individual images simply so that I could maximize them here. All right, I didn't want these linking to something. I did it specifically on words and did it that way on purpose. All right, so this one is wrong, but it tried to be right. Okay, so that's my assessment of that one. It can be fixed. Yeah, it could be fixed. I don't know if you know how to fix it. I mean, but there's a lot of work that needs to go in behind it to support it. I think is the best way to say that. Yeah, there's not enough. Yeah, I mean, the domain is reasonable. It's just that the whole website is not put together right. And it's not supported properly. So putting those two things together, and it's not working. If you need help, call, because that one actually has some signs of life on it that you could actually work with. Okay, so this one here is, yeah, it's not ranking on, it's only ranking on 17 words because those words are not even visible. And see how you have a collections, and again, with the collections word, right? Now I've got concrete waterproof supplies. Let's see where that goes to. I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. All right, so there's no, okay, so this is a landing page for all your concrete and waterproof supplies. If I go back to LED spot, and actually, let me do it this way. MSC CO. Let's do this one. Nope. I'm not on. I did something wrong on that. MSC. Did I do that right? Yeah, that time I did it right. Okay, so if you look at this one has a lot of those same attributes and features. And if you look at the top menus, you see how long we made the menus and broke it out. Okay, but when I go to the rehabilitation and sports equipment, in fact, we're in the process of getting some of these written. You'll notice that they've got words on them. Okay, so not just support and supplies, it's got words on them. So because you need words, like this one's got words that explains what they have, and it can go and be linked together. So if you really wanted to do it right, it can be a fairly big undertaking. And again, this one is just interesting. It's wrong, but it was done by somebody that was trying to do it right, but didn't know how to do it. And that's no indictment of you, because you just told me you're not, you didn't do this, but whoever did it just wrong enough that they don't know what they're doing, but they tried to do it right, which is I love sites like that, because there's hope in the world on ones like that. Some of these are just, they're a little rough around the edges. This one at least could be worked with. All right, let's see. Next one, I think, is the Woodlands Performing Arts.
Yeah,
you need
Mary Lloyd.
Okay, hold on. I don't know why they're barking, but go away, get away from the microphone. Yeah, I'm hoping my noise canceling is working. Nobody's complaining about my dog, so I'm assuming it's working.
It's minor.
It's minor. Okay, yeah, you would not believe how loud they are. I got sound deadening because the one that died, you remember how he used to bark through every class?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got a sound deadener now because they're horrible. All right, so this one's pretty not in good shape either. Let's see. Yeah, each and every one of these are. All right, skinny woman still winning, just want to say. All right, let's see. I guess it's this one here. See, now this one has some attributes about it that are right, but I'm just wondering what this is built in. And yeah, this is not bad. Overall, I would have to do technical on this one because it's got no value unless it's very new. It doesn't have any value, but at least overall it's somewhat okay. At least from a precursory over the top. Yeah, 16. How old is this website? Maybe it's just brand new. Maybe that's its problem. No, it's not brand new. Here's what it was. So yeah, no, it's been around for a while. So there's something technically wrong with this website, because when I look at it, it actually has reasonable attributes. Woodlands Performing Arts Academy. I don't like this continuum movement, but it says expert music teachers. It should say music lessons, not flexible lessons. It's not a yoga studio. affordable prices, that's okay. You know, music lessons at affordable prices might be a good thing to put there, but some music school, I mean, the elements are here. So there's something else wrong with this. My first question would be, is it built in? What is it built in? Do you know?
She says we're still working on this.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking a question now. What is it? All right. So there's its problem right there. It's Wix. That's why. So you can keep doing everything right the way you're doing it, and it's never going to rank, because that's the problem right there in a nutshell. Because technically, on a technical level, it's bad. Even though you're executing the top level right, the undercarriage is no good.
Well, she says, is it Wix or WordPress? So she's asking you, I think.
If she's asking me, I don't, I mean, I guess, hold on. Using Safari, let's see, where the hell is it on here? Maybe it's here. Yeah, it's Wix. It's Wix. Yeah, I mean, that's really, yeah, it's Wix. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm looking at. I mean, I can go start Googling around, go looking around, but element sources. Yeah, it's, you know, I just, you know, I don't want to waste time on trying to identify it. I'll have Charlie do that if we don't really know. But no, Wix, forget it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they have competitions like WordPress versus Wix. And somebody like me, if I really probably put my mind to it, I could get a Wix website work. But frankly, I don't have enough time in my life to just do it on an experiment. I don't know about you guys, but owning a small business, you don't really have time to go work with stuff that are subpar and just try to challenge to see if you can make it work. Just do it the right way, which is WordPress.org. If it's WordPress.com, but I actually think this is a Wix thing. I think. I don't know. I'd have to, that's why I employ somebody to look at this stuff for me these days. Anyway, all right, let me see if I can't get this out of here. Goodbye. Go away. Okay. All right. So it should be redone in WordPress.org. That's what it needs to be done in. You're swimming upstream with no paddle there, and you know you're doing the stuff right, but you're like paddling with your hands, so you're never going to get there. All right, Susan. Sandra, where are we at? I'm like seeing names go by now.
Earlychildhoodspecialties.com.
Where is it?
Well, first of all, let's make sure Diane's still here.
Specialties.
She is.
All right, let's see what this one looks like. Oh, wait, we may have another winner. All right, let's see. All right, goods and services probably needs to get changed. I don't like this pop-up, get our free ebook stuff. That probably should go away.
Why?
Because Google sees the box. ECS is your source for. Do you sell training, coaching, and consulting, or do you do keynotes and conference sessions? I would be with childcare training and coaching, coaching, and consulting, including keynotes and conference sessions. Like we're about we're about childcare training and child presentations and products. I would be more shifted towards that direction if I were kind of you. And then there's something conference organizers, childcare administrators. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the keynotes and conference sessions. Are you training people that do childcare conferences? That would start to be that question. Yeah, this kind of needs to be smoothed out. But again, all right, so you're not as bad as the other guy that it's not there. It's there enough, but it's not focused enough.
So she says, I train teachers and present at conferences.
I see it. Yeah, it doesn't say that. And then the other interesting question is, we've got childcare training, coaching, and consulting. When you say childcare training, you mean for home or daycares, or are you talking about that kind of stuff, or are you talking about something different? Because that would be.
So do you train childcare teachers?
For day, you do and conferences for daycare providers. Okay, all right. I actually have some experience on this particular topic, which is why I'm asking those questions. All right, so looks like you only been, how long you been doing this for? Because whatever you did something in February that at least gave you 38 words in all of the world that you're ranking on. But again, here's your problem. You're ranking on pictures. So there, your photos are what's ranking, not your key terms for somebody looking to buy something. So that's not necessarily a really good place to be. And again, you're like the piano tuning guy and you, or the piano lesson guy and you, no pun intended, are just like you're just on a sour note. You kind of have the right idea. It's just who's ever driving the bus doesn't know how to do it. The industrial guy, he's a little bit more that, at least that somebody tried and completely just messed that one all up. So, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, that was me. You did it yourself. Okay. Well, you did just enough. You're just kind of like, you're like a half a sandwich short there somehow. It's just not right. I don't know how else to say that. It's not right. It's off, but it's a little bit right. So I'm not picking, just so we all know. All right, Sandra, who's the next one up?
Okay, wait, let me get back up there.
Any person still's winning. All right.
Okay, now it's the accountabledrugtesting.com. Tarika, let's see if she's still here.
What time is this one?
It's at 6:16. But let's see if she's still here. Yes, she is. Accountabledrugtesting.com. 6:16. And then we'll do Decker USA and Care Package Queens if we've got time.
Okay, so this one's good. This one's kind of interesting. It's got no title tag on it. It says home on the range. Google has no idea what that is. But somebody said accountable drug testing services here. But you have no words. We're around the clock service. We're fast. We don't really say much about what we're doing. I don't know what we do, really. We do drug screening. We're a phlebotomist and blood draw. Yeah, okay. So this one here this is just basically a brochure on the internet, not with any SEO elements whatsoever.
But is it set up so that they could start building SEO elements?
Not at all.
Hmm.
It's so thin and so... my guess is this is another Wix Weebly Squarespace situation. Yeah, this is another. What is this one built in? This one's, it's another. Yeah, see, it's another. This is not set up right. It's very thin. It's very. There's just, yeah, it's not. I mean, it tries. I mean, at least you say you do drug testing and put the kind of drug testing you did underneath it. I mean, but you got a long way to go on this, but you're not putting title tags on it. You're putting things like our services. I mean, it's just that. So that title tag needs to say something like, and I worry because this domain is accountabledrugtesting.com. So it's almost like the services need to be, drug testing and DNA service, blood draw and phlebotomy or something like that. It needs to actually break that out. But yeah, there's nothing here to even. The other thing is almost every one of you from one way or another is missing a blog. So you have no content. So I didn't want to get in a whole content discussion, but almost every one of you is missing content. All right, what's the next one?
Okay, let me go back to it. I'm almost there. The next one is DeckerUSA.com and then carepackagequeens.com. DeckerUSA.com, 617. Lorraine Decker, she's still here.
I don't like how it's put together, but at least it's got some oomph to it a little bit. Yeah, only 38 keywords. I want you guys to know something. All right. So all these ones that I'm looking at that are really thin and not put together well, I think you need hundreds of keywords. I don't necessarily always have to have them be on the same page, but you need hundreds of keywords for your website to be working right. And the reason why is because you're throwing that all out there, and for Google to be able to pick this up and get hooks into it, almost every one of these sites, I don't think I've hit any that have more than 500 keywords on it. And the 500 keyword was a lucky person. I don't remember who was 571, but there was somebody that was high like that. But the rest of you guys, you're like ranking on 30 because the websites themselves are so poorly put together that Google cannot get their hooks in them. And I know that's why you're all here, so don't misunderstand. I'm not knocking you for it, but every one of you has the same thing. So this person does math and CTE courses, financial literacy, college planning, okay? Except their title tag is Decker USA. Now this here is however that one's done, we need to look at this because this is maybe not reading well. Okay. Ready to launch doesn't really tell me much of anything. And then I start to come in here and self-led events, real life games, so your courses, you need to tell people what you're doing. So that one's, it says, I'm here, but I even had a talk with you. Built a WordPress. We are a publisher of high school financial literacy online classes. Okay. You told me more in that box than you told me on this website. So Google can't even get its hooks into it. It's only ranked on 38 pages because there's all these like pieces. So the website looks good. Yours actually looks better than most of the ones I've looked at tonight. Okay. And your courses are right. The way things are outlined, but the technical SEO aspects of this website are poor. All right. And then we'll go down the whole, I'm missing any type of content to make this be why do I need this? What do I need this for? Like that kind of stuff and out there in there. So you have done a reasonable aesthetics job. You have used parts of the better parts of WordPress. On the other side of the coin, you're missing a lot of the technical pieces. So that's where this starts to, this is where this is kind of interesting. Because you're missing it in the opposite direction, although yours is the best one I've looked at, I think, all night, as far as aesthetics and coming up on it and feeling comfortable to do business with you. You actually put some time into this. But we don't talk enough about we're selling online classes. We don't, and let me show you the difference. And this one is far from perfect. I'm trying to get it lined out. But if you look, we've got insurance license tests, right? So I've got what kind of things we have. What do we, and you see your insurance license exam. There's links to where they need to go to. And again, I think this thing needs work. It was kind of like, this is what the customer wanted. And now we're getting down to brass tacks on how to back that out and get this to where it needs to be. Okay. But you see how we have it. So you said to me more high school financial literacy online classes. Okay. We don't have that outlined somewhere. And then you should have a thing that a blog section that talks about, how do parents teach financial literacy? Why is your class something I should consider instead of trying to teach it myself? I mean, I know they don't teach it in school anymore. So there's a lot of elements to that probably could use to get worked out and worked over. Okay, what's the next one, Sandra?
carepackagequeens.com. It's on 17, carepackagequeens.com. I know Christiana, and I think she inherited this website by buying the business.
Okay. All right, let's see what this one looks like.
And she's still here.
Yeah, she's still here. All right. So we sell care packages is what I'm getting at it is. So we're saying ready to order, but I don't know what I'm ordering. So I'd like to know if you come in the care package, because I'm like looking for this, because it's telling me about you, but it's not telling me about the packages.
There they are.
Really? How can I buy anything? And like this is an image, so you can't read it. So this website, I wish I had Firefox on this computer. I don't. If I turned off all the design elements, what this website would say is about our packages, ready to order, where do we ship to, why do we shop? And that's what it would pick up on. And then it starts with anyone can relate. If you want to send a care package to college, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but about our packages probably should get changed to care packages at minimum. This needs work. Like this needs work for sure. Like even this picture is Survive Sorority Week. And see the date on this now. If you just inherited this, I apologize. But yeah, so like this date, this is telling Google we haven't touched our website since 2021. It is now 2023. So this looks like an abandoned website to Google from that standpoint. Okay. This needs to be a whole lot more defined and delineated and broke out. And oh, by the way, whatever it's in, we need to get it out of. Because it's in a terrible builder. Even if it's WordPress, it needs a new theme because this looks bad. And it's not rendering right. And oh, by the way, let's see what your title tag is. Your title tag is Care Package Queens, which again doesn't really tell anybody anything. So there's just a whole lot of stuff here that needs to get done. This website's basically a blank website is what it is. I mean, if you need help, just call, but this is a blank website for all.
Somebody else said that too. So I put your contact information in the chat just a minute ago, Beth Guide. So you guys are welcome to reach out.
And again, if I don't get to you tonight, because we have 5 minutes left, I mean, you're welcome to call my office and I'll kind of do this with you. But yeah, all right. What time am I up to, Sandra? Because I think I'm
7:55.
No. What chat? What
Oh, what's next? Who's next? Hold on a second.
ABC Healthcare?
Yes.
Is that right?
Health Connection. abchealthconnection.org.
That's the right one, huh?
Yes.
All right. So this one's interesting because this one's about us. As far as Google concerns, it hits this. It has no idea based on this what you do, and the first thing it says is about us. But then we switch to hypertension, diabetes, and nutrition education, and then we talk about taking classes. So this whole about us box is completely and sorely misplaced. Let me just say that. Now, the hypertension, we should have something written up on that. We've got an inline PDF viewer and blood tracker program. Yeah, it's another website. So the thing is, these are all good ideas that are not executed properly. I mean, it really is. I think everybody thematically has the same problem. Where's my window? Here we are. So as a result, what the premise I'm saying is, without a title tag, without good navigation, without information on your website, and without clarity of what you're talking about, Google cannot get hooks into these websites. So they're 40s and 30s and 10s, and they have relatively no traffic. And as far as I'm concerned, let me leave you with this parting set of thoughts, okay? Because at my end of my day, I look at this, I built my business completely and 100% with a search engine. Okay. We sat number 7 for years on web hosting, and I ended up with over 10,000 customers that we took in that way. All right. I admittedly, a design or SEO, the SEO parts of my business are more, people need to talk to me and know that I know what I'm talking about. All right. And once you talk to me, you know, I don't talk like any other SEO person because I actually know what I'm talking about. So with that said, but every one of you that does not put the time into the internet, you are literally missing your opportunity for your business to fly. The LED Spot website is solely driven off of web sales, 100%. That MSE company. I have another customer that when he had 20 employees when we started with him, he has now almost 100. Okay, because at the end of the day, we took that website, we grew it. He was supportive of what needed to be done. And as a result, now I have a website that I started with 500 people that now has 10,000 people every single month. And those are 10,000 customers. So whether you have somebody do it, whether you do it yourself, there is no reason and no excuse not to do it. I mean, this is like elbow grease, you know, and I just need you all to understand that by ignoring your website, you're literally ignoring the way to be able to get people to your business and to do what you need to do.
I think it would be good to wrap it up with what Juliet Brown said to everyone. This was great. Thanks to everyone who submitted their website. That was brave and very helpful to everyone here. So, and everyone.
You are brave to give me a website. It is brave to do that. I will say that. You are correct.
And Peter says this has been very illuminating. Thank you. So awesome, useful information. And we appreciate your frankness, because everybody's here to improve and figure out what's next. So thank you, Beth.
You're very welcome. And we'll see you next month. I'll think of what the topic will be next month and we will go with it. Okay.
Thank
you.
See you
all soon. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, because I think looking at somebody's website, it gives you a lot of good and bad stuff. And I think you were honest about it. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm sure those who gave their website will be looking forward to working with you to improve it the best way they can. Thanks, Beth, and thanks, Sandra, and thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. And I'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.